was really tough. It cost
We're,
me a lot of money.
we're watching pretty fun match here. Nikita Koloff and Ric Flair. We had Nikita on with us not too terribly long ago, and we had a conversation about the possibility of a WWF run because I can't help but think about, one of my favorite movies as a kid and still one of my, I guess, guilty pleasures is the 1985 Rocky 4. And
Okay.
so that movie came out at the same time that Nikita was this monster, giant Russian character, not unlike Dolph Lundgren.
Right.
So it does feel like, what is the wrestling equivalent of Rocky? Well, that feels like that might be Hulk Hogan. So it just felt like, if I'm Mr. All America and blah, 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 it would have been a natural for him to be lured away to Vince. I mean, he certainly had the look that Vince liked.
Yeah.
And respectfully, he would have made a much better WrestleMania 2 opponent than King Kong Bundy.
Sure.
I could have got really behind that, especially on the heels of Rocky 5. But when I brought it up to Nikita, it was like it never even crossed his mind because he felt like the Crockett's took a big chance on him and gave him the big push. He was loyal to them. I thought that was really cool to hear from Nikita.
There were some of us that thought that he was going to be cast as the Dolph Lundgren character.
Well, supposedly he even had a tryout for it. That movie, if you're wondering, was released on Thanksgiving weekend, I believe, November 27th, 1985. I am wondering now, when was Starrcade? 1985, because it would be hilarious if it was the very next day. So Rocky 4 came out on the 27th and Starrcade 85 was the very next day.
Wow.
On November 28th.
So see, that would have been a big deal. So I even remember somebody said God, I'm just hearing voices, but I remember somebody saying Nikita said he had tried out for it or something. And somebody said, well, you got to be a lock. I mean, take a look at you. Take a look at the Russian character that you've built. And I think there were many of us that thought that Nikita had the part. But it went to, I must break you, Dolph Lundgren. He-Man, by the way, in the great He-Man movie.
Masters I think it was, I think Nikita says that he got involved with the opportunity to have a conversation about Rocky 4.
Okay.
After his tag partner, Don Kernoodle, was contacted by Terry Funk, who I guess had heard about Nikita. So we know that Terry Funk was obviously friendly with Stallone going back to the Paradise Alley stuff.
Right.
I feel confident if Stallone were to call Terry and say, hey, do you know somebody who knows how to work? I mean, Hulk worked, or Balea, whatever, Thunder Lips worked last year. We need do you know of like a big Russian? If that's the way it came about, can you imagine like if Nikita really had a personal relationship with Terry? You got to wonder, would it have changed anything? Now, I have to admit, it's hard for me to even imagine someone besides Dolph Lundgren playing Ivan Drago at this point. He did such a great job.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But that's anyway, what could have been. But do you see Flair battle out of that bear hug? I mean, that bear hug had to hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nikita was a fucking killer back then, though, buddy. Look at his chest. This is what, see, those traps right up on his shoulder. This is what mine are going to look like in about another month or so. Yeah, so
we're watching live here. Greatly appreciate our live studio audience. We've got another question here from Bryant Haremza. I'll get it right.
Brian, is that Haremza, Brian? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's Haremza, and he's going to be with us in Waterloo, Iowa next. Well, not us, but me. But Bryant says, does Tony prefer arena shows or stadium shows? Some wrestlers complain about crowd reactions in stadiums. Of course, the idea is, Tony, we've heard that in a stadium, when there's no top, that the sound just goes up, and as Vince might say it, goes into the heavens, it just disappears. But we've heard people like Stone Cold say, man, when you're in the old Allstate Arena, the Rosemont Horizon, as it was called when you worked there, it had a wooden ceiling. So it made that building loud as hell. Do you prefer those arena shows where the sounds are locked in, or do you like the feel of a stadium show?
Well, it's really hard to say, but I can tell you this. I've never had a feeling like I had at the first show at Wembley.
Yeah.
I've never had that feeling because I came out, they cheered me, they sung my name. I was so honored and so thrilled about being there. And it was a very electric crowd. However, Bryant's right, or Bryant, just to answer your question, not all stadium shows are sold out, and unless they're sold out to the rafters, I don't know, you're probably not going to get as great a sound as you're going to get in, let's say, an arena. Oddly enough, one of the loudest crowds I've ever heard, aside from the one that we had in Australia, because that crowd was crazy. When we were in Detroit recently at one of those theaters,
Yep,
that crowd was bananas. That was as loud as the crowd that you know how I know when the crowd gets really loud? My iWatch tells me that. My Apple Watch tells me about decibels. So that was so loud, I could not hear myself talk. I kept hitting my talkback button saying, "Guys, I can't hear myself talk." So yeah, I think overall probably the best atmosphere is in an arena, but you're not going to beat what we had at Wembley. Not going to beat what we had at the very first Grand Slam show, which I know is a stadium, but it's an enclosed stadium at the Rod Laver Tennis Center. So,
by the way, since we've been live here recording What Happened When, Commander was just announced as coming to Starcast.
oh,
it's wild how many people we just keep announcing for this thing. I don't know where we're going to fit them all, Tony.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
just have them sit in the middle of put them in the middle of the room, have them sit on Indian style. I'm sorry, Native American style, on a rug, and have people sit down next to them and sign autographs.
As a reminder, if you haven't already, you need to make plans to join us at Starcast because Tony Schiavone is going to be there, and we've been cooking up something special. He's really excited to show you all. It's known as the Button on a Fur Coat Experience, and you must be 18 to participate. But I'm pretty fired up about that. You've never offered button service before, Tony.
No, I haven't. And I can't wait to see what you have planned.
Well, you wanted the wrestler seance. Are you going to lead us in that panel?
I don't know if a wrestler seance would be good because someone may come back from the dead and haunt me the rest of my life. I don't need that. I'm haunted anyway here at the house. Look at Flair with those chops, man. And the snapmare takeover. Flair was so formulated at what he did. Now here comes the knee drop on the head. But it all worked, you know? It just, or the shin drop on the head. You knew what he was going to do, but it still worked.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.